Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon on Afternoon Express. Now, during these tough times, many of us are feeling the pressure of financial stress from mounting bills, reduced incomes and job uncertainty. Here to give us some insights on these grey area is financial fitness bunny Nicolette Mashile, a good friend of the show. Nicolette, how are you doing, Siswam?
I'm good, and how are you, Palisa?
I'm fantastic. I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling good to be back on air. But more importantly, above and beyond people's health, what people are really struggling with right now is the ching-ching, honey. I mean, a large amount of people right now are trying to make ends meet with less to no income. As a result of the national lockdown now, people are not able to pay their mortgages, rent, or even car payments. So what's the right thing to do in such an instance? And when is the right time to seek help?
I think, Palisa, probably one of the most important things right now is not to panic, because help is out there. Because panicking is not necessarily going to get you to make the right financial decisions that are going to count in the near future. So I think one of the most important things, and I think we've been speaking about it throughout the lockdown, is do not panic, go and speak to your creditors. I think one of the biggest issues that people are kind of stressed about right now is generally always associated with their debt, because if you are getting a salary cut, if you are getting unpaid leave, if perhaps you are becoming retrenched, one of the things that's going to happen to you is that you are going to be unable to commit to your credit agreement. So speak to your creditors. I think, you know, we creditors don't want to come and find us. Debt collection is actually very expensive for a lot of creditors. So they do want you to speak to them. They do want you to pay. They do want to find ways in which they can create some sort of arrangement with you so that you are able to pay. And then I think it's also important to remember that there are options. You know, some of the banks have come out with the payment holiday. Of course, we must, though, point out that the payment holiday is nothing new. It's always been there. It's just that it was, of course, on a case-by-case basis, right? So the payment holiday is available. I know some of the banks have also come out with what they're calling the cash flow relief plan, where you're not necessarily taking a payment holiday, but you are actually taking up another loan with its own terms and conditions, usually more stringent than the original loan. And because we've seen the interest rate being cut, it means that obviously those rates that you might be given will be much lower than the loan that you're trying to pay off. So now you are able to actually pay your actual loan during the month, but then service the new loan maybe on a lesser or a shorter term. And then, of course, if there is credit life insurance, go and speak to your creditors, find out if you do have credit life insurance and what the terms and conditions are in terms of paying or having that credit life insurance stepping in. And then I think, Palisa, probably one of the most important things that we don't speak enough about is having your own emergency savings. Guys, we've been preaching this for how long now? It is so important to have financial reserves, because where there is no insurance policy, your own money would be able to step in and help you.
Absolutely. I think here what's key, Nicolette, is knowing your options. I had no clue that half of what you have just addressed is something that's out there, something that people want, something that people need. And of course, you are here shedding that very, very valuable light. Now, people are also working from home, Nicolette, and others are not being able to work at all. There's a lot of time spent at home. That results in increased food consumption. I know I'm guilty. So what are the ways that we can reduce large expenses on food?
Look, I think one of the most important things, let's just park food for a minute on the side, is also your policies, you know, your insurance policies. Remember, insurance covers you for a potential loss. If the loss or the risk of that potential loss has been dramatically reduced, like taking you off the road and your car is actually parked, one of the things that you can potentially go and look at is having a conversation with your insurers and asking them, how do we mitigate you paying a lesser insurance premium while your car is actually parked at home? And then I think also there's several ways in which you can be really creative around the house to try and keep those costs low. Definitely recreation on your budget should be low this month, and then you should be allocating that money to perhaps adding on into an additional payment into a debt, or potentially putting into your emergency fund and supplementing your income. I think right now it is the right time for a lot of us to really have an eagle's eye on our finances. Because as you rightfully say, Palisa, while you are at home, every 5 minutes the fridge is calling you. You gotta eat something, you gotta pop something into your mouth.
Yeah.
So I think one of the other ways to try and mitigate for those kind of things is creating a routine. Sticking to a routine, making sure that you are eating when you are supposed to be eating, and then keeping busy throughout the day, having those activities that are going to fill in those gaps. Because when we have gaps, that's when we rush to the kitchen and we rush to the fridge. So I think that's also something that you can look at. But probably also stop buying the most expensive brand in the shop, guys.
Hey, oh,
Like,
actually, Nicolette. Hey, you're attacking me right now. I feel attacked.
food is food, okay? It's
Okay.
not, yes, you want to have a better quality steak, but steak is steak, man. It's about your cooking. How well are you actually cooking the steak? So I think right now is the right time for you to shop around in terms of where you are buying.
Oh, I mean, Nicolette, you've already touched on this very briefly. I mean, bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. A whole lot of people right now are complaining on social media that there's nothing to do. Now, this could result in an excess amount of internet usage, airtime and data. I mean, hashtag data must fall. So is there an economical way to manage this?
Look, I think one of probably the most important things that you should be doing right now is finding a way to make your data usage productive. The problem is that we are sitting on the internet, we're going on these lives, we're just having unnecessary chat. We not only just exhausting ourselves, but we're exhausting the data bill, right? So I think it's really, really important right now that if you don't want to feel guilty about your data usage, make sure that you're using it productively. If you're not going to be using it to upskill yourself, to better yourself, to make yourself a better asset, perhaps maybe then try and see if there's a way in which you can use that data to be able to make some money. There's many people that when the lockdown started reached out to their own companies, reached out to smaller companies and said, how do we help you guys become more digital? People are managing social media channels of different brands. So I just think, sometimes, yes, we want to take this lockdown period to rest and take in, our lives and really just slow things down. But because we do get bored, we then end up sitting on the internet. The question is, what are you consuming on the internet? Because that will really make you feel less guilty for spending so much data. Then perhaps maybe once those the telecoms, what do they call them? The internet network companies are open. I think it's on level 3. Have a conversation and start looking at your data usage and say, what is the most effective way? Many people find themselves using an actual cell phone data, which is far more expensive than getting fiber and getting Wi-Fi, right? A package deal might be more useful for you than buying data every 2 days. Because when you buy data every 2 days, it's the same thing of when we say to you, stop pouring 100 Rand petrol because it really just doesn't work. Rather, a full tank.
Amen.
So it's almost similar to that.
Amen. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head right there. But one thing that I'm finding throughout this entire conversation is communication is key. Reach out, tell your story, and let people know that you're struggling and seek the help that is needed. Now, if someone suspects that they might be unemployed in the near future, I mean, what should they have in place? You spoke already about an emergency fund. I mean, do they automatically qualify to claim the unemployment insurance fund?
Look, I think so it's the only way you're going to be able to claim from UIF is if you were contributing to UIF. I'm finding a lot of people thinking that is a viable option, but when they go back to look on their salary slip, they do find out that their company was not contributing to UIF. So I think once you actually have gone back to your HR to ask, read your payslip, guys. People don't read their payslips. It really just scares me that people don't know what's happening on their payslip. Read your payslip. You will be able to understand there or to see that you are contributing to UIF. And then that is obviously a viable option for you to go and go and claim from UIF. But it's also important for you to make sure that, and I've seen it a lot, people who have credit cards often do have a retrenchment cover that they don't know about. We sit with most of these financial products. We don't actually know them because we've never bothered to read the policy documents or the agreements. Some people do get covered, by credit cards. Some people do get covered by their income protector. They might have a retrenchment benefit to it. So I think this is the right time for you to do what I call a reflectionary financial audit on your life and look at the gaps that you've got and say, if this is the scenario, what do I have to be able to cover myself? Some of them are DIY insurance policies that we've got to create by ourselves because the financial sector has not created that insurance. Something like black tax. The reality is that if you are the if you've been paying black tax, it's probably going to get even worse now, because the people that you're probably paying black tax to are probably the people that will lose their job or have a higher chance of losing their income, or their income has been stopped because they are in those jobs where it's a no job, no pay situation. So it means that your black tax might even be doubling right now. So those are some of the things that I think as people we need to make sure that we are covered for. I always say, if you're going to be good at money, if you're going to be money savvy and you're going to have personal finance on a lockdown, make sure that when there is an economic interruption, like what is happening right now, you are actually covered. So I think everybody should be sitting at home right now, going through their life and playing with those scenarios, because they're doom and gloom. What if you die today? Do you have a will? You know, do you have life insurance to cover you if you were to die today, to cover those who you're leaving behind? If you lose your job, do you have credit insurance? Do you have income protector? Can you perhaps go back to your bank and restructure your loans? So those are the things that I think people should be looking at.
Nicolette, with the hard questions that need to be asked regardless, let's all go back and read the fine print in everything that we sign, because who knows, help could be closer than what we realize. Nicolette, thanks again for sharing your knowledge and insights with us.
Thank you so much, and bye.
Mwah! Enjoy the rest of your evening. Now, coming up on the show, we catch up with Mrs. South Africa 2019 and proud mom, Nicolette Mashile. And plus, we have more quick and easy lockdown recipes to share that I'm excited to share with you. So stay right there.